You know how easy it is to make your own mince pie filling? So easy and so delicious. Let me show you. Really couldn't be any easier. Oh, these straps are doing my head in. This is just my recipe for it. It's just like an amended one to suit my tastes and my family's tastes a little bit more. So don't stress too much if you don't have all the things. You can substitute it. I'll explain a little bit as I go, like how to base the kind of recipe. So we want about 5.5 cups worth of dried fruit. So you can do that in whatever combination you want. Traditionally, it's like sultanas, raisin, currants, mixed peel, and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to do, these are pitted dates. I'm going to do dried figs. I'm going to do sultanas as well. And I was going to do some crystallized ginger, but I can't find it, so we're not going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start chopping this up now and show you as I'm going. They're just sort of, you know, you can roughly measure what quantities you want, or you don't have to do that. Even just aim for about 5.5 cups of the fruit. So yeah, I'm just going to cut it like that, and I'm just going to chop it small. We are going to cook it, so it will soften down and that, but we want it. So like if you've got a little pitted date, you probably want to cut them into pieces about that big. So like cutting one date into like 10 pieces, if you know what I mean. It sounds complicated, it's not. And you don't have to do it neatly either. You can just do it roughly like this. And just when you're happy with the overall thing, then stop. So I'll just do this bit and then I'll come back to you. So I've done 1.5 cups of dates. I'm going to do probably about the same in figs. Whatever's left. That'll be about 1.5, it's fine. And again, so that's about 3 cups altogether. I'm going to do a little bit more. And I'm just going to do 2 cups of sultanas. And that's fine. So about 5 cups worth of dried fruit. Next you want 2 big apples. Now I know you can, I think, you know, traditionally you're meant to use cooking apples, but I can never find them, so you just use whatever you've got. If you haven't got big apples, use a few smaller ones. So like normally I buy little apples, so I'd use 4 of them. Don't worry about peeling it or anything like that. We just don't want to include the core, but everything else you're just going to chop up, and you want to chop it up to about the same size pieces as your fruit. So all about the size of a sultana, really. That's what we're aiming for everything we're chopping up, about the size of a sultana. But yeah, as I say, it is going to cook down, so it's not that important. So I know traditionally mince pies used to actually have mincemeat in them. That's why they were called mince pies. They don't nowadays. They also traditionally have suet in them, which is animal fat. If you don't want to use that, you don't have to use that. You can use butter instead. I'm going to use copha, or copper, however you say it. It's coconut oil version of that. It's a hydrogenated coconut oil. But yeah, use butter if you don't want to use that. And the other thing is, traditionally you can put like brandy, I think it is, or port. I'm not sure if it's port, but you can put alcohol in them as well. I don't do that either because I don't particularly like the taste of alcohol in desserts. I'd much rather have a glass of wine than have a boozy dessert. Traditionally as well, when you make it, you're meant to sort of like put it all in the bowl and leave it to soak overnight, and then you do the cooking part the next day. But I'm incredibly impatient, so I don't do that. I just boil it all up and then let it cool, and it's fine. It's always delicious. So yeah, that's, you know, my little disclaimer is this. I know this is not a traditional one, so please don't get upset. I'm not saying it is. Now I'm going to add the zest of 2 oranges to the mix. You can do lemons as well if you don't want oranges, but you know, it adds a nice little Christmassy flavour. So instead of adding alcohol, I add extra orange juice in mine. You know, you can use whatever juice you want. Just add water if you want, really. But it makes a really nice combination. One of my favourite things to eat in a dessert is dates and figs. I read a book years ago, or I used to read a series of books rather, and I don't know if anyone's read them. It's by, I think, a lady called Jean Sassan, and it was Princess Sultana. It sounds silly, but basically it was about, that was a code name, but it was about an Arabic princess, or a Saudi princess, and all about her life and everything. And anyway, one of the times, bless you, she talks about how when she's meant to be fasting, she finds a load of date pastries, and she describes them. I've never been able to forget the way she describes it. It just sounds so delicious and perfect. So yeah, for me, anything where I can swap something for dates and figs, I definitely will. So I'm just going to add the zest. And then I'm just going to juice my oranges until I've got about a cup's worth of liquid. So I'll be back. So next, this is what I'm using, copha. So it's coconut oil, like similar to suet kind of thing. And you can grate this as well. It's our grated copha. I'm just going to put that straight in as well. It's fine. Now I'm going to add about a tablespoon worth of mixed spice. It's fine. And about half a tablespoon of cinnamon. I'm not going to measure because I can't be bothered. That'll do, that's fine. I'm also going to add about half a teaspoon worth of salt. That's fine. We want 1 cup of brown sugar. I'm going to use really dark brown sugar, the muscovado one. But just use whatever you've got, you know. If you haven't got brown sugar, don't worry about it too much, just use white. This is going to help give us the dark colour. Just added that, and I'm also going to add whatever's left, probably about a tablespoon of molasses. Again, if you don't have it, don't worry about it. This is not traditional, but again, I think it adds to like a smoky deepness of things. Don't know if that makes any sense, but I like it. It's actually really good for your molasses too. Lastly, I'm just going to pour the orange juice on and just give this a little mix. Now, as I say, you can leave this to sit overnight and then cook it the next day. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to leave it for about 10 minutes and then I'm going to pop it on the stove and I'm going to cook it for about between 20 and 30 minutes after it's come to the boil. If it needs a little bit more water, add a little bit more water. Yeah, just going to cook this down and then I'll show you. So it's been cooking now for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So I cooked it down on the stove probably for about 30 minutes altogether. I added about a cup's worth of water and then just kept cooking it down until most of the liquid had gone. And then I got a potato masher and just went in and mashed any bits of apple that were still like in big chunks. As you can see, it's like really delicious now. So delicious, so easy. Homemade mince pie mix, give it a try.